so good to know that some of you resonate with the things I'm talking about here. And that leads me to the very first lesson that I've learned in my less than 500 subscribers journey. It's really to know your compelling why and stick to it. To really know your compelling why and really stick to it. So, your compelling why is actually your compass. It guides you as to where you want to adjust, where you want to pivot, where you want to lead this content to. When I started ideating and talking to a bunch of young people also about what if this mid 30s or late 30s guy starts a YouTube channel, what should I do? What can I do? And eventually when I was singing about who do I really want to do this for, I figured out, I actually want to, you know, help young people take practical steps in improving their lives, or at least maybe just not necessarily just improve right away, but take little steps to keep moving forward and to be able to somehow stay in the moment and begin to understand more themselves and the things that are happening around them. And by so doing, I'm able to actually help them, live another day through digital content, of course. And so I started asking myself, what does improvement mean for me? And what is that kind of improvement that I'm thinking for the person I'm talking to? I believe in little steps, and that's also one of the major things that I've learned from my wife as well. The little steps to improve and not really rushing things for my children. So it's the same thing as for when I'm here. And what improvement meant for me was that I would be able to speak into areas where I have something to talk about. So I was talking to one of my friend's daughter, and basically I was ideating with her because she used to like listen to me when I was still a youth pastor. Would be preaching every Friday. And she said one really good thing. And she says, if there's one thing that a lot of young people want nowadays, it's really not having someone teach them something, but it's really being able to listen to someone who's also processing their own lives, like someone who hasn't all figured it out, someone who might be a step ahead of them but still learning, someone who might guide them but still very vulnerable that they're still also learning. And when I heard that in our conversation, it's like, that's not so hard for me because that's the kind of person I am. And it's really being there and being present because that's who Jesus is. It's really being present, but at the same time, when it's time to speak life, speak life. The only challenge I had when I was figuring out my compelling why is that, okay, I know who I'm doing this for. I know that it's going to be so much about self improvement, but self improvement is such a general niche. That's what I had in mind. And so somehow last year, that thought actually led me to like points of being stuck where I couldn't do something for my channel. I couldn't do consistently. I realized that if you have a compelling why, you'd still go back to it. No matter the challenges, you may get stuck at some point, but you'll get back up and be able to realize, you know what? I'm still gonna do this. Leads me to the second lesson I've learned on YouTube. It's really the discipline to keep executing. One of the weaknesses I have really is the consistency to execute, to keep doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And one of the things that I've learned to keep executing is to work around my priorities and to work around my life. I had to evaluate and assess, okay, what are the things in my life right now that are non-negotiable and the things in my life right now that are negotiable. Assess my daily life, my daily routines, and which ones can actually go and which ones cannot. Recently I've also included in my daily schedule, trying to achieve 10,000 walks, having time to exercise with my children. And those things, while it eats up time, they cannot go. It has to remain in my schedule. Some K dramas had to go, and I also had to make sure that even during the day, I had to manage my mental capacity to have enough for ideating, script writing, or making an outline, and even just talk to the camera. to just have enough capacity. I've also decided to look for tools to maximize my time. Like, of course, it's hard for me to think of ideas. So, one good tool that I've been using is really vidIQ, and they have this new feature which allows you to ideate with an AI based on how your channel has been about. So it traces basically the previous videos, previous topics, previous tags, previous descriptions, previous titles for shorts and long form. There's also like a feature where you input your possible topic or your possible title, and then once you generate it, it's gonna generate like the keywords that you need to put in the meta tags, or even the, I think it's the thumbnail ideas and the script outline. That really helped me, because even if I didn't use the script outline, just being able to see how it broke down the script very simply allowed me to convince my own mind that, hey, I can do this. With just 1 or 2 hours today, I can sit down and do this. So if you want to try it out, there's a link in the description. I'll also pin that comment. It leads you to the vidIQ referral. It makes you sign up there, but it also somehow it gives me a little thank you for leading you to that tool. So if you do sign up, you can use my link for that. And finally, not a very long discussion for this one. The third lesson that I've learned on YouTube so far is to trust the process. The process allows you to experience milestones. One of the milestones that I've experience so far on YouTube is being able to, at least meet someone from Nigeria who I had to help also believe that there's actually a potential career on YouTube, and not just YouTubing itself, but becoming a video editor, doing script writing, etc., etc. And also able to chat with some of you who actually followed me on Instagram and be able to hear what resonates with you in my content. So these are milestones, and to be able to trust the process, you also have to celebrate little milestones like this. The most important thing is that you still go back to number one lesson, which is you really have to know your compelling why. It shouldn't just be a why, but it should be compelling enough to make you do things. So those are three lessons. Of course, there are many more. Maybe I can talk about it next time. Some of you may be thinking, okay, if I don't do YouTube um, as a content creator, what else can I do on YouTube? Well, aside from watching, you can potentially land a career or a freelance gig by starting your own channel. And no, I'm not saying you start your channel and then that's your gig. No, no, no. When you start your own channel, that becomes your portfolio. And that portfolio, because you're able to understand some of the analytics, or you're able to experience some of the editing, etc., and thumbnail editing. All of these skills that you're able to learn by starting your own YouTube channel will give you a portfolio good enough to attract content creators who are looking for someone to hire for specific roles. And this is what I want to do in the coming days. Right here in the link below is a calendar account which allows you to register for a 30-minute Zoom call with me. And I want to teach you how to prepare yourself to land a YouTube job or a freelance gig. Check out the link in the description and in the pinned comment as well. So that's about it. I hope that whether you're trying to find something to do on YouTube or for YouTube, I hope that you find your compelling why, and leave a comment below as to some of the major struggles that you've had doing YouTube, and maybe some milestones. As for me, I'm gonna talk about something else again next video, back to probably our slow living and simple living, and some mental health topics as well. Thank you so much, and I hope that you subscribe, and I hope that you share this video as well to people who might resonate with this. See you in the next video.